on Gears.
Okay, time to get into Disi's Double Ds on this wunderbar Tuesday afternoon. And, of course, it's always brought to us compliments of Red Bull Mobile and Cell C. What you got, Disi?
What's very exciting. Today on Disi's Double Ds, we are featuring an exciting new 3D South African computer-animated adventure comedy film called Khumba. Khumba is a half-striped zebra.
Kumbaya, malam, kumbay. Is that it?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Khumba is a half-striped zebra who is blamed for the lack of rain by the rest of his insular superstitious herd, who decides to embark on a quest to earn his stripes. And today we are joined by Rafaela Del Donne, one of the writers of the movie, and Anthony Silverstone, who's the director, producer, and writer of Khumba, on Skype to find out more about the movie.
Good afternoon, Anthony and Rafaela there. Oh, in Cape Town, eh?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. I got to tell you, I've just had a look at the trailer of this film. It looks fantastic.
Thank you.
Well done. All right, so now, Rafaela, you are instrumental in the writing process of this film.
Yeah, Anthony and I co-wrote the script together. So, yeah, basically we're the two main writers. And we also collaborated in the final stages with one of the writers on The Lion King, Jonathan Roberts, who helped us give it a little bit of a script polish and dialogue and that kind of thing.
So then, now you two guys based in Cape Town. I'm assuming, Anthony, you're also based in Cape Town. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you just sit together one day and sit and say, well, let's write a nice little story. And now it's going to be one of the big blockbusters of the decade. How did the process go from little writing in Cape Town to getting the likes of Liam Neeson and Steve Buscemi into doing voices? How did this all progress, and how quickly did it take?
Well, it wasn't quick. That's the quick answer. But I mean, look, for us, to be honest, it's also been a little bit surreal because we really didn't ever quite imagine the scope of it. Although I think, Ant, you were always,
we hope,
like this had this, I think you always knew it had the potential to be something bigger. But yeah, I didn't really think we would end up, at the premiere of the movie watching guys in like Khumba suits running around and merchandising and Liam Neeson and all the stuff that comes with a big film. So I definitely never ever imagined the scope.
Okay, but now how did it go from you guys writing? Who then picked up on the story and said, okay, we're going massive?
Well, I think it was a slow process because we entered a competition in 2005 or 6, and we actually won in the 0 to hero category. And so that was just for the script development. And after a few years developing that script, eventually it got to the point where Triggerfish had just been working on Zambezia, Adventures in Zambezia. And so they were looking for another film to do next. And I was then one of the partners at Triggerfish. So it kind of made sense that Khumba was then the second film. And then, Zambezia got Samuel L. Jackson. So that then made it a little bit easier to get Liam Neeson onto Khumba.
Those are huge names.
I mean, it's massive.
Star cast. We're very lucky.
Do you have any local South Africans in the movie?
Yeah, there's Rob van Vuren. He's the Springbok captain.
Oh, cool.
And Nick Rabinowitz also. He's also one of the Springboks. Yeah. And Matthew Roberts. Those are kind of key Springbok characters.
And then we got some Gemsbok, and the lead there is played by Sindiwe Magona, who's quite a famous author here. There's a lot of local flavor throughout.
Okay, now we're going to talk about, because it's also going to come out in Afrikaans here in South Africa. Tell us just a little bit more about Triggerfish Studios. And Anthony, I mean, are you part of that? Where did it start? And I mean, are you not tempted to sell out to Disney or something?
No, we're doing local all the way. We started in '96 as a stop frame studio.
Okay.
And it sort of moved into CG, computer animation later and around. Yeah, when we started Zambezia, really. And now, really, our focus is to just do feature films. So we're working towards a slate of films and hopefully release one a year. So we are looking for investment, but we hope to build on the local talent pool as well. I mean, the crew, 100 crew, they were all local. So it's 100% South African production. The music was even recorded here in Stellenbosch.
And recording the voices in terms of the actual script, I mean, was that all done internationally? Were you guys present, or were you just listening via ISDN or satellite?
No, we did. I mean, that's actually pretty much the only stage that we do outside of South Africa. We flew over to LA and worked with a voice director and our casting agent who we had worked with on Zambezi as well. And obviously, because it's really great to be in the room with the actors, and because sometimes, you hear the actor's voice and you just kind of think that line doesn't quite suit them now. So it's quite nice to kind of be writing off the cuff, and obviously getting input from the actor sometimes as well, which is great.
I mean, voicing for something like animation is incredibly difficult. I mean, you have to be incredibly well directed, because they might just get a copy and going, okay, here are different lines, yet in your minds you seeing a complete story.
Yep. And they get, I mean, some of them, they're so busy, they come in and they kind of, which part was this again? And they get this one page of line by line, they have to read it out, and we have to know how the scene will play out, interacting between the other characters, and it can be tricky, and that happens all before animation even.
Incredible. Raphael, I mean, you guys must be both delighted about this movie and sort of the sort of heights that it hopefully is going to achieve. When you were writing it, as you say, Anthony maybe saw a bigger picture. You might not have seen the biggest picture out of it, and you're saying it's quite surreal. But this must spur you on to even bigger and better ideas.
Yeah, well, I'm writing the third script as we speak. Ant and I are working on one. And I think we've definitely leveled up, with this one. And so, I mean, definitely, I think you just get, you as you get more experience, you get braver, you get more confidence. And obviously, this like Triggerfish has a lot more confidence in, I think, our working together. So I think, our plan is to up the game. So
it's more ambitious.
How long does it take to write a script like this?
From concept to now has been 10 years. So,
Sure.
I mean, I just want to qualify that with the fact that we weren't working on it full time at that stage. I had
because you must write really slowly then.
Yes, no, it's just one word, and then you just like have a little nap, and that's why you get paid the big bucks.
Now, I want to because I'm fascinated by the Afrikaans side of here. In terms of Triggerfish, and how is it perceived internationally? And I hate to always have to make that kind of statement, but unfortunately, it's pretty real. I mean, we see what comes out of Pixar and those kind of things. Now we see what comes out of Triggerfish, and I mean, in my opinion, there's no difference. How are you guys perceived internationally, specifically, I'd say, around Hollywood and Los Angeles?
I think, I mean, it does depend who you speak to, whether they're in the animation industry or not.
Yeah.
But generally, I would say people are pretty much blown away by the quality of work coming out of South Africa. I don't think they expected anything, and so they're surprised for sure.
And I think also because we're in that independent animation category, a lot of independent animation, the quality is often it's not that great of the style of the animation, but also the story. So I think in that sense, I think, people are just really impressed with the quality on every level for an independent. And in terms of animation, it's actually a really relatively low budget compared to Pixar. And
I mean, it's a tiny fraction of the budget. We can't compete in the budget. And, unfortunately, we can't even compete in theater because we don't have the same marketing spend behind us.
But at least we've got better stories. Now, I'm fascinated. So you're also doing prints in Afrikaans as well. I mean, who translated that for you so that you get the same energies, you get the same... Because I'm assuming you're taking one print, and then from there you bring in different voice or different language. So you've got to make sure that the jokes work the same way.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately that's what's great about animation is that it can be dubbed. I think, every territory around the world where Khumba's showing will dub it in their own language.
Yes.
So, why not here? Our distributor is Indigenous Film, and they decided to do the dubbing. So we had a guy called Kobus Geldenhuis do the translation, and Betty Kemp was the voice director.
My word, I remember her from the SABC days.
Yep. So they did a fantastic job because basically they had to match the same performance.
Of course.
With the same meaning, essentially. And they did a great job. Yeah, it's really wonderful.
All right, so when does it break in South Africa?
This Friday.
It's Friday.
Jeez,
Oh,
Disi.
what good timing.
Wow. This coming Friday. And how many prints? I mean, do you know how many prints you guys are going through?
It's 118.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is wide. I mean, I think it's more than some of the recent Disney Pixar films, so we're
That's
really
for sure.
excited.
Well, I got to say, I watched the video. I mean, they watched the trailer. We'll show the trailer to our listeners and viewers in a couple of minutes from now. But it just really looks something incredibly fun. Looks like you guys worked tirelessly, but seems like you had a lot of fun making it as well and writing it.
No, we have a wonderful team. I mean, the crew at Triggerfish, they worked incredibly hard to put a lot of extra of themselves in it, and it paid off.
That's terrific.
Yeah, that's all from me. I just want to know, it's obviously a family movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It appeals to all ages.
Daisy, just because animated doesn't mean it's porn.
I'm not saying it's porn. I'm just saying it's aimed at all
Yeah,
ages.
but we know how you think.
Oh, that's... Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. So thanks so much for chatting to us today.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Raphael. Thanks, Anthony. All of the best, and we'll definitely catch up for
Go
the...
watch the movie.
Yeah, we'll all go and watch the movie, and we'll definitely catch up on the next one as well.
Cool.
All
Thanks,
the
man.
best. Ciao,
Bye.
ciao. Bye-bye. Wow, what an inspired brilliance.
It
Hey?
looks so cute.
It looks phenomenal. I must say, it looks phenomenal. But I wasn't aware that the whole thing came out of Triggerfish here in South Africa.
It's awesome.
So do yourself a favor. Totally South African written, produced, directed, and made. How's that?
Experience the world of Red Bull with Cell C. Get 200 megs free data per month for 12 months. Supercharged with more than 100% free extra value, including talk time, SMS, and data. Plus, free Red Bull content, music, apps, and games. Get your Red Bull mobile starter pack today at any Cell C outlet or participating retailer. Cell C, the power's in your hands.
Weekdays from 12 to 2 p.m. Central African Time.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Gears with Sasha Martinengo.